Hello and welcome back to another episode of our podcast, where we discuss everything related to private equity. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the best private equity podcasts to listen to for investors. As private equity continues to be a hot topic, it's important for investors to stay informed and ahead of the curve. That's why we've compiled a list of the best private equity podcasts for all you investors out there. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. First on our list is Capital Allocators. Hosted by Ted Seides, this podcast covers everything from investment strategies to risk management. Each episode features interviews with some of the most successful investors in the industry, offering invaluable insight and advice for both beginners and seasoned investors alike. Next up is the Private Equity Funcast. Hosted by Jim Milbury and Jeff Henningsen, this podcast takes a lighthearted approach to private equity, discussing recent industry news and trends in an engaging and informative manner. The hosts also offer their own opinions and advice on various investment strategies, making this a must-listen for any serious investor. Another great podcast to listen to is the Private Equity Spotlight by PitchBook. This podcast features in-depth interviews with industry experts and insiders, providing listeners with unique insights into the latest trends and developments in private equity. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, this podcast is a great resource for anyone looking to stay up to date on the latest industry news. If you're interested in learning more about private equity firms, then check out the PE Funcast. Hosted by David Tull, this podcast features interviews with executives from some of the world's top private equity firms, giving listeners an inside look at how these firms operate and what makes them successful. This podcast is a great way to gain a deeper understanding of the private equity market and the players that drive it. Last but not least, we have PE Hub's Buyouts Insider Podcast. Hosted by Sarah Pringle and Evan Dumas, this podcast covers everything from emerging markets to exit strategies, offering actionable insights and tips for investors at every level. With a focus on delivering fresh perspectives on the private equity market, this podcast is a great resource for anyone looking to stay ahead of the curve. So, there you have it, our list of the best private equity podcasts for investors. As always, we hope you found this podcast informative and helpful. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.